This is the exact funnel I use to help scale media and marketing agencies with ClickUp CRM. So I'm going to show you the exact process overall on how I go and kind of create automations for marketing agencies, specifically in ClickUp. So if you're an agency or if you're just a business who use a CRM systems, this video is hopefully a great tool for you to use to just set up simple and easy automations to use with Slack and help your team communicate. So this will be the best Slack automations for CRM systems. And this is usually the funnel I use. I use lead and sales systems. I use client onboarding systems, project delivery systems. We have communications, and we then have expansions and retention systems. So this is the full agency systems, all the different steps from a lead being interested to client onboarding. And of course we have the lead triangle, which I've talked about before, all the different steps in that triangle and how leads get from prospects and interested persons to a signed client. And in this case, I'm going to show in ClickUp how to create the most effective automations for Slack. So we're going to sign up for make.com. So I'm going to sign out. I have a link in the description. I'm just going to log in with my account and I'm going to press my main account, right? This will be the first and easiest automation of them all. I'm going to press myself. I'm going to press on the scenarios. I'm going to deactivate these ones and this one. I'm going to create a new scenario. The first automation, which I think is super important, is project update statuses, right? And we have two options inside of ClickUp. We either have I can show you two different examples. We either have a status like this, internal review, live stock, or we have things like client dropdowns, right? So it kind of depends on how you want both of them work. In this case, I'm going to show how to do it on status dropdowns. So let's say once a client goes from not started to in progress, that's the first notification, right? They are currently in progress. Then internal review, then client review, then live, then stock and completed, right? So press on automate, press on manage automations. We're going to create the first automation. Press on add automation, press on when status changes from, let's say, not started to, let's say, first progress, in progress, right? We're going to confirm. We're going to put the call a webhook with the latest one, of course, not this one. Call a webhook. Go into make.com. You search on webhooks. We search on custom webhook. Create webhook. Call it ClickUp status in progress. Let's save it. We have to copy this webhook. It's like a connection between two platforms. So a webhook is a connection between two platforms, basically so they can communicate with each other. We go into ClickUp. We go into the URL. We press on create. So let's do a test run. Save. We press run once. We're going to update a status. So once it goes from not started to in progress, it triggers into make. We have payload. We have the task ID. So this will be the ID from the ClickUp task. So this will be kind of the ClickUp ID. Now, to get the first automation for Slack, we're going to do edit a task. No. That's my bad. We're going to get a task, of course. Get a task. We're going to just provide with the ID from payload. So press on the ID. This works the same on Monday. It works the same on HubSpot. If you want to kind of do the same, just do the same automations, call webhook, then get the task and so on. That works the same way. We're going to do Slack. This can both either be internally or externally, completely up to you, right? So either to clients or to your team. We're going to send. I think it's called create a message. Now we pick my channel list. Let's put all well designed. Let's just check. Then we're going to put text. We're going to say task name is now in progress. You can also do hey. If you have like multiple stuff, hey. It kind of depends what we have. In this case, I'm just going to do, you know what we can do? We can unlink this. I'm going to add another field like this called just client name. I'm going to, I think I have it already, of course. Client name, add. I'm going to add that client name. I'm going to just write client name, let's say Max. Let's do a quick test. Run the scenario once. Let's update this task in progress. It should run, and it should run successfully. Like that. Connect task, saying select from list. You can either have like to pick the specific client name. In this case, just do it like this. Put text Slack ID, and then just write the Slack ID from the channel. That's it, and then you use that to send instead of my manual listing, of course. So in this case, let's put, so if you want to map it, just push it like this and then map it to the client. Or of course private message, direct message. You get the point. You can pick whatever you want. Let's just put all the time. I'm going to say hey. I'm going to say Max. So hey Max. Let's say the first ad campaign is now in progress. It will be under your Meta account called, like that, right? Super easy. And we press save. Now let's do a test. Let's run scenario immediately. Now I'm going to do the same thing. ClickUp. This took me less than 5 minutes. Put in the name. We put in the in progress. Let's go into the Slack channel called All Well Design. Hey Maximilian, this first ad campaign is in progress. It will be under your Meta account called Natural Glow Drop. In just 10 minutes, we created a super simple automation that is extremely effective for both your clients and for your team, just to keep track of progress. Highly recommend having something like this. And this is only a fraction of what you can do. You can of course add things like ChatGPT, add AI, add Claude, and create a more personalized message if you now want, of course. If not, then not. But yeah, you get the point. You can have a template messages like this just to get started for like client onboardings, for client projects, everything with a snap of a finger, right? Extremely simple. Now let's take it one step further. If you can do it for all different stages, you get the point. You know how it works. Press on automate. You just go into automation, and you change the fields from, let's say, live. So let's say your client or your progress is now stuck, or you're live and so on. You can do whatever you want. Add automation. We're going to do when due date arrives. We're going to call a webhook, and we're going to do the same thing. So let's say this scenario. Let's create a new scenario. Let's do the webhooks. Let's custom webhook, and it's going to say due date creation. Copy, right? We're going to go into the ClickUp, copy this URL, just like that. I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to get a task. I have to, of course, run this once. Hopefully it should work if I just do the due date of today. That usually works. Yep, perfect. We do the same thing. We map the ID. We put in from, in this case, it should be able to map. If I got the right thing. Map, and if not, then not sure why. I'm just going to delete this. Get a task and put the ID, and then we're going to do the same thing, but instead for Slack. This is more for internal things. So Slack create a message. We're going to the same thing, list public channels, all well assigned, saying hey. The campaign, let's call it task name, is now overdue. Get it done ASAP. It's to check with, let's say, username, right? To get it done. Same thing, we start this, let's do a test, let's just add a campaign. You can also do filters. So let's say in ClickUp, instead of running it for all due dates, which can be quite annoying, you can also just do a drop down. So if custom field or field status is, let's say, only for in progress clients, right? Because if they're live, they're already live, right? Then it's not overdue. So only for in progress clients. So if I run this, nothing will happen. It won't change, which is completely fine. But if I pick something like this, it's different. I'm going to pick the due date today. It's going to run the task in from make and into my Slack channel. The campaign built for speed, ready to scale is now overdue. Get it done in a sec. Check with Max in a sec to get it done. Less than 11 minutes or 10 minutes, and we already have created 2 super useful automations in Slack. Works with any CRM tool you want. Just want for showing ClickUp for examples, but yeah, extremely efficient. I highly recommend, and it's truly a game changer just in how much time you can actually save for a client. I love it, right? It's super efficient, and you can do even one step further. Instead of kind of doing everything yourself, you can create Slack. Slack, in this case, is going to be, you can list channels, you can get channels, you can list members channel, you can leave, join channels, archive, create. We're going to create the channel, choose account, I want to update my connection. So let's do it one step further. Press on automate. This is one of my favorites, definitely one of the best. We're going to, once task or subtask is created and status is not started, so only for new clients, we're going to call webhook. Same thing, going to make. Let's do everything like a one step even further. So much better, which I recommend. Create a scenario. We webhook. Create a webhook, same process. Let's call it create channel. Channel, of course. Copy address. We copy paste into ClickUp. Same thing. Create. So once task created, send a webhook, and of course if it's in not started. Let's do a test. Let's run this once just to see if it works. Of course I have to save this. Save. Called create channel. Save. Run once. We're going to go back to ClickUp. We're going to create task. Yes. And probably change the webhook in a second. Let's see if it goes through. Or did I forget something? Test. Let's see. Not yet. Let's go into the 3 task is created and there's called webhook, I guess. Let's see, subtask task, only tasks, APIs, automations, coming. Should all be good to go. Let's see. Test 1. Perfect, now it worked. We have the ID, everything up and running. Let's say get a task same way. Now, let's do it one step further. Let's do it another way. Let's call it even something like Slack ID works. We're going to, in this case, go into Slack. We can create a channel. Call it name. Going to call it client name. Private? No. Just of course of the YouTube. Private? No. Then going to edit a task with custom fields. In this case, I do have to believe we have to change it up. So if I just press on the templates, I have the campaign delivery one. Let's see, campaign delivery. Refresh. Let's just do a test. If it wants to save, of course. Refresh, let's see. So just like that, we have task ID. Let's just put in the task ID name. In this case, we're going to have just change one thing. We're going to add the client name, no run ads, no the Slack ID. So in this case, we're going to put channel ID. So just like that, if we save, if we run this immediately once data comes and saves, we're going to do a client name called, let's call it Maxi. Let's remove all the old ones. And let's go back to the, let's run the, it said errors, no correct scenarios. It was because of the Slack. Invalid name specials. Name, task name, Maxi. So let's see. I did realize the mistake. It's for one of my client accounts. Thank God I didn't create a bunch of Slack channels. So let me just redirect to my normal account for my own ClickUp, or both ClickUp and of course for Slack. Now we're correct in the well-assigned Slack workspace. Perfect. Yeah, it was the wrong workspace. Now let's put it in the name. Let's save. Let's put run once. I'm going to save the scenario. I want to actually delete all old data. Delete, save. And just like that, we should be back on track with a new test. So let's call it my full name, maybe Max Emilian. And this should trigger hopefully the correct way this time and should not interfere with anything inside of the system. Did I do something wrong again? Let's see. I totally forgot one of the most important parts. Let's do it like this. Sometimes you don't understand that you aren't the brightest. So I'm going to set a variable, call it new client name. Thankfully, I'm quite good at make, so I know how this works. And we have different fields. We have to. The reason it's not going through is because I put capitalized first letter in the wording, and it has to be a lowercase letter to create the Slack channel, and that's just because how Slack works and so on. So we have something called capitalized, and something I have called there's a bunch of these, but this will be lower. So lower, so it's going to make everything lowercase, and then we're going to put in the task name, and hopefully this time it should not have any problems. So I'm going to input this into here, save. We have to now connect that. We're going to create the new name, of course, called new client name, and just save. And let's do another test process, not old data. That was the wrong thing to press. Let's see if it runs even there. I don't think it should run because I did process old data. Oh, maybe it did. So let's do a proper scenario. Now this time would work. Let's say put my name. I can do how many capital letters I want. Let's just put Max. And just like that, it creates a brand new channel called Max and Maximilian, right? After some trial and error and so on. And we also have, fun enough, the Slack ID inside of the ClickUp, hopefully, or did I forget? Okay, no. Then we have to press edit. We have to go into Slack ID, channel ID. I did not see any Slack ID. Maybe that's not possible at the moment. Channel ID is not running through that. Channel ID. Yeah, that's correct. That is correct. So, in this case, we are not finished, right? Because we can do a bunch of more stuff. You can do list files, get files, download files, upload files. I mean, you can do a bunch of stuff in here. So play around with make, play around with reactions, stores, items, unpin messages. You can do a bunch of stuff. Kick users, complete reminders, set statuses, and so on. I mean, you can do a bunch of stuff, right? The thing I want to do is I want to do an email. So just send a mail. Send email, and we can send an email automatically to the client. We're going to call it, let's say, Slack call. We can put in the subject or recipient to, I don't think we have emails in here, so I think we have to add an email, sadly enough. So I'll just go into ClickUp, let's say, email, add email, like that. And in this case, the reason why this won't work, or like if we add a, let's say a task now, we add a task now, and in this case, this will trigger a Slack channel automatically. So we have to do a filter maybe, right? We have to do something different, because instead of having, because we have to, of course, enter the email and so on, and client name, before we actually create the task. So the thing I will do in this case, I'm going to drop down, called create Slack channel. Yes, and we're going to have no. Create Slack channel, yes or no, right? We can change the colors just to make it more fun for us. If you have intake forms into ClickUp, you can do this automatically, so you don't have to have a button. But if you don't have to, do have some sort of course, filter. So, person number 3, we're going to just press on the, in this case, custom field drop down, create a Slack channel is equal to yes. That is it. Now it can go through happily and safely. Now, I'm going to create a new test. I'm going to remove all these old ones. Let's do a proper test for once. Write in my full name. Write in my contact email, max@well-assigned. I'm going to write in the client name called Maxi. We're going to, of course, we can change this to name it another way. You don't have to name it the client name. You can name it whatever you want. That just makes, of course, show that it's easy to create. Now, in this case, now I added another channel called invite users, right? So we can send an email and call it mail, right? Just mail, and then you can send invite to Slack. Hey, let's start it. Hey, let's say if you can find the, in this case I don't think it's name. We have the client name. Say hey client name. I invited you to the Slack channel. Something we do have to keep in mind here is, of course, if they have account on the specific email you're sending to. So just make sure that is correct, right? So there, of course, Slack ID has to kind of be connected with their email from the ClickUp. Makes sense, right? So you can invite Slack users. You can do it like this. I'm just going to invite. We can map public channel to the one we just created, channel ID, and then we can kind of invite users to the mapping. I think this works the way, hopefully this works. Possibly not. I haven't tried this exact channel before. Either way, I'm going to do a full test now to show you how this works. Go into ClickUp, go into the create Slack channel. Everything is filled out. Press on yes. We can go back to Slack. Do we see a new channel being created? Let's see if this can be updated. Or did it get stuck somewhere? Let's see from make, or did I do everything correctly? Yes. Correct. Let's see in the, did this turn off? No. It didn't trigger this time. Did I change something on the automation? Ah, I see. There is a problem here. If the task is created, right? So we have to just do custom field changes, client to Slack, and then to yes, right? Just like that. So I'm going to write out the name again. I'm going to just write a quick. So now in this case, and then I'm going to press on yes. Now it triggers because then, of course, it will connect it to the task also being created, right? Hopefully that makes sense. So in Slack, if this now should work the way I'm hoping, did it launch, or have I also forgotten something again? Let's see. It has not triggered this time, so let's go back to the automations. And in this case, let's see now if this is the problem. Let's try out once again. Copy email like this. Then we have the automation. You can put whatever trigger you want. If you want a check mark, if you want this one. So of course you can do something like this. You can just press on check box. Or like the best thing I recommend in this case, because if you have now in progress, you have also means you're also in progress with the client, right? So the easiest way to do this is kind of just press automate, press 1, and then just do status changes from not started to in progress, right? Because that's the easiest way of doing it. Keeping in mind, so we can just change this one to in progress. So now we're going to trigger 2 automations. We're going to trigger, of course, the one called this one. So if everything is set up correctly, let's see. So let's now do a test. The reason was not the reason why it was not running is because I had to reauthorize my email because it was outdated. Yeah, interesting thing, right? So if you press on in progress, we can see the update in here, and in this case, the name was taken because I'm not one of the brightest people in here. So let's do it once again with another name. So I'm just going to change the name, call it something like boss. Let's just move back the scenario. Let's of course just hopefully it's still activated. That's correct. I'm going to rerun the scenario now. After of course some trial and error. We go back, we go into in progress, and hopefully this should run smoothly, right? I was missing a parameter. The contact email is inside of, I'm just going to write custom fields, name, who said the customer, custom value, file, contact. It should probably be this one. So let's see if we can do this once again without, of course, let's do it one more time. Like there's small, of course, things that will happen along the way. Like this one, you have to reauthorize your email. You can't, of course, duplicate create channels. You can't, of course, name it the same channel every single time. Keep, of course, that in mind. So client name, of course, is always the easiest option here. So I'm just going to name it Maximus. I go back to started, and then as we go back now, I can actually remove this. If we go back now, and it should run smoothly. In this case, and yeah, The invites you didn't find because of course I'm inviting myself and so on. That's not a weird thing. So yeah, this option I'm not sure if it works or not. I haven't tried it out fully, and of course when inviting users you have to think about if it's the right email and so on. So of course it's just easy to invite them to the Slack, right? That makes sense. But yeah, we have a brand new Slack channel called Maximus. We have this kind of automation we created before with the different stuff, with the duty automations and so on. So you can do a bunch of stuff in ClickUp, right? And instead of make, you can list channels in creation. You can, like as I said before, only a fraction with some channel error. Like I had some fails along the way with the authorization with the email and so on. But yeah, hopefully get the point. You can create a bunch of stuff inside of Slack, inside of email, and inside of ClickUp and Slack and make. So try it out for yourself, see what you can find, just find the best solution for your team basically, and see what you can do. I mean, you can do a bunch of stuff, right? Especially with the Slack updates and so on. So yeah, thank you for watching, and on to the next one.